All right, everybody, we're back. It's the historical gamer once more. Today we're going to be playing some Gary Grigsby's Bombing the Reich, and we've got a turn ready for you. We've got a couple of raids planned out, a lot of recon this turn. I'm actually basically ordering recon flights over almost every single airfield from Abbeville out in almost toward the Rhine, and then through northern Holland. So we're trying to get a good picture of what all might be out this way from a enemy aircraft point of view as we continue our campaign against armament factories, which we started last turn. We have one major raid going in that is against the Deutsche Eisenwerk. It is a size 8 armaments plant, and then we will be launching subsequent sort of shielding raids at Volkel Airfield with B-24s of the British Tactical Air Force, Eindhoven with, I believe, Typhoons, and I think that's mostly it. We do need to do a recon flight over... I don't think we did a recon flight over that. Yikes. All right, we're going to have to cancel one of our recon flights because we don't have... I don't think we have... yeah, we don't. So let's... What the heck is this? This must be an AI planned mission. And then we will do a recon flight over the target today. We'll fly at maximum altitude early in the morning. How do I not have any aircraft? I just canceled the mission for one of them. Didn't I? Oberhaus. Those are all Night Intruder missions. Maybe that wasn't a Mediterranean mission, was it? Did I do a recon flight over Wilhelmshaven? Yeah, okay, cancel that. All right, let's do... I'm assuming that flight can reach the target here. Still no? Ah! What if I lower the altitude? Is it an altitude thing? No? All right, so... Review, show all paths. All right, let's just do target. What's this one? Mardark. Mardark! All right, they for sure should be able to fly toward... How are none of these... I don't understand how none of these planes can fly this mission. I'm canceling there should be planes available. We could do a Mustang sweep over the actual target. I don't have a good... I don't know. Whatever. Let's just do it. Let's see how they bomb on 14 days old recon. Probably not very well. Sorry, boys. Your main job is to draw the German fighters up anyway and destroy them, right? All right, let's go. Let's see how it goes. Is the historical gamer once more. All right. There they go. So we've got... I think these guys are the first group bombing Eindhoven airfields. Nice! 190 destroyed on the ground right off the bat. I don't really care about the 20mm quads. I do prefer the nameless squares. Like, the roundels is nice, but you get so much more information with these squares here when you do the display flight lines. So, destroying a fair bit of enemy AAA. This is a Typhoon raid, so they're going in with dive bombers against the targets. Doing a lot of damage to the enemy AA guns. Doing a little bit of damage to the aircraft on the ground. We got the 190 destroyed. We got another one damaged. I don't know if some of these aircraft are maybe left behind after the previous raid and they just happen to be, you know, a damaged aircraft or two at the base, but it doesn't look like they did a whole lot of damage there, unfortunately. They are engaging enemy fighters, I think, on the way out by the looks of it. D-520s, which are French aircraft that were pressed into service with the Germans. Meanwhile, some of our Mustangs are destroying balloons. Mosquito got bounced there. It's not good, Cannibal. The manual bombing in that game is not good. Meanwhile, these guys are dropping B-24s over Volkel Airfield, bombing the airfield as well. Apparently the escorts are strafing the airfield, getting themselves destroyed by flak, doing a little bit of damage to some of the 109s. I suppose the other positive here of dropping bombs on the field is even if you don't destroy a whole bunch of aircraft on the ground, you will at least perhaps knock the airfield out of commission for a couple of hours until the bombing raid clears. But we are getting some 109s on the ground here with the fighter aircraft that are strafing. I don't love that our Spitfire 12s are losing. There were only like 200 Spitfire 12s that were actually made? We just lost like 3 or 4 of those to flak. Seems like kind of a waste. I believe they're a very good mid to low level aircraft. Probably wasted strafing airfields though. We're getting a couple 109s on the ground. Here we go. They're attacking children's birthday parties. Yes, Trident, that is. They're called barrage balloons, I believe, and they primarily protect against basically what we're doing here, low-level attacks. All right. All right, they're firing rockets at our B-24s on the way out. Yikes. All right, I suppose the only positive here is they're expending a lot of fighter aircraft on the sort of missions that are meant to screen the enemy as opposed to actually engaging them. But those liberators I gave to the British Tactical Air Force are getting roughed up a bit. They had a real nice raid yesterday. Today, not doing so hot. Got a 110 G2 though. That's nice. What's the poll anyway, Finish? I didn't see what the quantity was. How many will the Germans lose? More than 70? No way. I only have a handful of attacks. There's no way we're hitting 70 of those. Mostly just recon over Italy. So you're really only looking at like 3 or 4 major raids over northern. Yeah, but that last turn was much more active. Sorry for everybody who voted yes. You're gonna lose. All right, so that's a photo recon flight. Where's the B-17s? They're not flying yet? I don't even remember where I ordered them to go. I know we're obviously halfway into the turn, but I would guess the enemy will lose not more than 20 fighters. But we'll see if I'm right. Okay. Spitfire crashed on the runway. Our B-17's got to be coming pretty soon, I would think. Okay. Wow, that's a deep recon flight. Oh, we did do a B-26 raid against the Hermann Goering Panzer troops. I forgot about that one. 40 P-39Qs. The B-26s didn't do anything, but the P-39s, they did their work, or are doing some work. And now we're getting jumped by 109s. Great. I believe the Marauder had the highest survival rate of any Allied bombers. I think it's up there because it was so fast. Okay. Another one damaged. Shoot back, boys. 29 109s jumping our fighters. Yikes. P-39 is not meant to dogfight. Or at least whether it was meant to or not, it's not very good at dogfighting. We'll put it that way. Man, they've got a lot of fighters jumping that one raid. They must have repositioned the fighters that were all located in the southern tip. Because this is a fairly bloody day for the tactical air forces, which were not, like, most of our aircraft were not busy today. But the aircraft that are busy today have so far met pretty stiff resistance. Get out of there, boys! Poor P-39 pilots. 99th Fighter Squadron. Are those the Tuskegee? Were they in the 99th? They were 90-something. There are Cobra getting shot down. Switching to secondary targets. Oh no, our B-17 raids getting delayed due to bad weather? This may be a real quiet turn. Did the 99th, did they get one of the Germans there? I couldn't tell. Who was the 90th? Or, I don't know. B-17's hitting... I didn't think I launched all these raids. I totally forgot that we apparently launched some recon, or some missions against these troops. Huh. Busier day than I thought. I guess I lost track of those raids. Oh, okay, so the 99th were the Tuskegee. Okay. Cool. So we just a few seconds ago we saw the 99th Fighter Squadron in action, boys. I didn't see if they got any Germans, but they at least flew up there and engaged them. They're flying P-40Ls. Okay. We basically have recon flights over every single base in Corsica and Sardinia. Nice. Some P-38s got some Italian fighter planes. Good job, boys. We got a couple of Germans. All right. The heavy weather over England is delaying form up of our one big bombing raid. We're doing some work on the Italian fighters there. The weather doesn't even look bad. So if we stop this, they can't form up over England because of patchy cloud cover just over the northeast corner of England. Come on, boys. And those early raids did their job of presumably at least slightly wearing out the Germans. The Germans went real heavy chasing those B-24Ds. 95th there, damaging some F-190s. All right, let's go back to the flight lines here. Things move much more quickly when we do that. The B-17s, if they don't get up today, they may have dodged a bullet of having to go to the Ruhr. They avoided bombing Germany. Those jerks. We'll see. We'll see. There's still time. They could still form up. '94th Fighter Squadron bouncing some enemies with P-38s, doing some damage to some F-190Fs. At least we should be getting a good day of intel. The cloud cover being largely non-existent should give us a lot of updates on what bases the enemy fighters are based out of, at least at the moment. That should help me better prepare future missions. P-38's doing good work today. They didn't seem to get caught by surprise or anything. Bouncing a few enemy airplanes, getting a couple of kills. Doing a good job. Apparently Brussels is socked in. Just one little patch of clouds. They're like, nope, you're not going to see us here. Switching to secondary target. It's funny thinking of Recon switching to secondary targets, but B-17's flying now? Yeah, they're off. All right, boys. I hope your fighter escorts didn't get all messed up. I hope they were communicated to that your mission was being delayed, because we're about to get them in, about to go. Now, the delayed mission could actually be a bad thing, because while the early raids did hit a couple of enemy airfields and drew up a large number of enemy fighters, the enemy has had several hours since those early morning raids to regroup. So we will see how that plays out here soon. I'm assuming the Germans are going to scramble a bunch of fighters against them, but we shall see. We're making a raid in near Dusseldorf, so in toward the Ruhr. Not a deep penetration rate of Germany, but certainly not a, safe target either. The B-17s are coming. It looks like their escorts are catching up. So it does look like the escorts flew as planned. We generally don't waste the escorts over the channel. We typically have the escorts pick the bombers up around the coast because they've got to do the crisscrossing and slower flying. It's typically better to have them join the bombers after they're entering in the danger zone, because then you can maximize how much time you can cover them. We saw 3 F-190s got to the bomber formation, I think before our fighters did there. But it didn't really matter. They only did a little bit of damage. It was too small of an enemy formation. Meanwhile, I think our fighters are catching up now. You're all in on yes. Well, that's yikes. That'd be a dog whistle of a poll if ever there were one. I know you like those Finnish. All right, the B-17s are south of Eindhoven now, so they're getting in there pretty good. They haven't lost a bomber yet, as far as I can tell. Meanwhile, we did have a couple of raids against some German infantry here south of Naples. Those dive bombers are doing some work. Those A-36s against the 29th Panzer Grenadier Truppen. Okay. I keep waiting for the the B-17s to get engaged by enemy fighters, but they got all the way to the oh, those are the B-26s. Okay, so they're bombing a factory near Rotterdam. No German fighters anywhere in sight for them, so they're just dropping their payloads and going. Lol. MC-202's bouncing Apaches and losing. Looks like we lost one Marauder to flak. God, the Apaches are so vulnerable. This has not been a good day for our KD ratio. This would be a bad day if the Allied Air Force was like, 1v1 me. All right, the B-17s made it all the way to Dusseldorf without losing a single bomber to enemy fighters. I think they had one bomber that was damaged. And now they're dropping. Looks like there's some F-190s that maybe are kind of trying to catch up. But this has been a miraculous run into the target with basically no interference, presumably due to those early morning raids by the B-24s and Typhoons that ate up a lot of the German interceptors. I'm surprised they didn't fly again, but I guess maybe they didn't. They're strafing a target. Don't do that, P-47s. Stay at 30,000 feet, you fools. There's German fighters closing in. Well, they got 190. All right, 110s are attacking the bomber formation. You want the B-17 to stray some targets? That would be a sight to behold, wouldn't it? You certainly could do good work if there wasn't any flak. All right, they got a 110. Wouldn't be very fuel efficient to fly at that altitude. Got another 110 there. Get him, boys. Get him. On 109. Get him. I was wrong on the over-under of 20. I don't think we'll get that many more, but they are up over 20 or 20 enemy fighters lost. So that's nice, especially since almost all of those have been destroyed in the air as opposed to on the ground. So doing most damage to the pilots. Okay. They couldn't do what the Mitchell could do? That's only because the Mitchell, they threw a cannon in the front of the damn thing. And that was only some of the Mitchells, but got a D520. We could hit your estimate there, Finish, if we could ensure the Germans only sent up a wave of D520s. Those things suck. 38 BF-109s jumping our P-47s, and they lost one. Good job. 353rd bouncing back, damaging one. 38 bouncing, 57 fighter group, P-47s. 2 destroyed in the air. Damn it. Keep your head on a swivel, boys. Don't let them bounce you. Those are large formations of enemy fighters bouncing our fighters. I guess it's, if they're going to throw waves of 30 fighters in a single formation at us, much better that they're engaging our fighters than our bombers like that. Nice. Got 2 109s there. JG2 breaks off attack. Okay. Once those B-17s are out of there, we're going to speed things up until the night raid. Seems like for whatever reason the Germans are mostly just engaging our fighters rather than our bombers. I'm not entirely sure if there's a good reason for that. But they sure seem to be honing in on our fighter aircraft. Sievers, no! I don't know who you are, but... Okay. Unable to locate target. Hello, Toa. How are you? Before there was the C-130, there was the B-25. And they had like a C-47 version of the Puff in Vietnam, right? Right, I think that's just about it. I think our bombers are out-ish. I don't need to get a nonstop run of recon flights. Yep, bombers made it out pretty much unscathed, looks like. So let's go ahead and skip the recon flights. We'll probably lose a fair number of recon planes because I did most of the missions during the day and in the afternoon. All right. So we are doing the nighttime phase stuff now. Good luck, Toa. Hope the interview goes well. I had an interview today. The recruiter didn't call me. So that's good. All right, so our RCMs are getting up, and they're drawing German fighters to them. At least the first wave of German fighters went off on them. The second wave appeared to divert away from the RCMs and head in on the main formation here. The Mosquitoes got out ahead of the rest of the group, and they are dropping their bombs on target to the Oberhaus area. So you can see we're starting some fires in here. That's the target just to the west of Essen, which we've thoroughly burned out, as you can see by all these black squares representing a square mile. Each black square represents a square mile of destroyed city. So we are bombing Oberhaus in part because the actual industrial area of Oberhaus falls within the industrial area of Essen, which we have missed. And so I don't know if we get double points for hitting this or if it's just one, but either way, like from a destruction point of view, it nicely kind of falls back on what we've already hit. So hopefully we can get Oberhausen in here pretty nice. Looks like we're doing some pretty good initial work, and then we'll see what happens from there. The last few raids for the RAF have gone well. Oh, those ones dropped in the Essen area. The last few raids for the RAF have gone well with very low loss rates, well below 2%. I think the last two raids we've had below 1% loss rates, so very much sustainable. I'm worried those initial raids had the sort of fire, the line of fires pushed back and almost out of the city now. I'm not too worried about the losses that we did have. Honestly, most of them were, I don't even know, like, we lost some tactical aircraft. Why is the Halifax bombing way up there? I don't really care. I mean, it's not really about air-to-air kills at this point in the conflict. It's about wearing the enemy down, I guess I'll say. And for the British, it's just about destroying cities. So how did these flights end up way north? Two bombing groups well off target to the north. Yep. Well, they weren't bombing a secondary target. I think they just got lost and dropped bombs in the wrong spot. Like, but that happens. So we're doing pretty good work here on Oberhausen. We're dropping a fair number of bombs on the target. It's getting dangerously close to the edge of where the city ends, but it's still hitting in the city for the moment. They're really testing that line, and it also, the fires neatly line up with where the Essen fires ended, so we should stretch that line of damage out. Those guys hitting Essen. Listen, you know, it's all one line of cities in the Rhine River Valley anyway, right? Or the Ruhr. Feels like we're losing a little bit more in the way of bombers than we have the last few days at night. Have a good one, Kia. Or see you soon. All right. So we got a nice string of fire there. Hopefully those all fully burn out. We'll see. Might just be these 3 like lighter squares. Those bombers decided to drop in the middle of nowhere. We got a Ju-88. Hell yeah, brothers. We damaged another Ju-88. Bow fighters are attacking the rail yard. Weather's clear, guys. You should be hitting your target. Those Sterling's hitting straight smack dab in the middle of the Oberhausen target, ignoring all the fires around it and just going right for the center of the target. All right. So we did a nice little bit of burnout there, it looks like. That's the end of the raid. It's not a huge raid. It was only like 250 bombers or so. So everybody's making their way back to base. No major firestorm, but still a pretty effective attack, I think, while most of the aircraft. First parachute withdraws. Oh, that's right. All right, so the Germans in Italy continue to withdraw. Let's see if we get any airfields stood up. It sure would be nice. They're continuing to withdraw north, though. Nice. We got the 98th Bomb Group just showed up. 376 Bomb Group also just showed up, so that's some 60 B-24s arriving in the Med. That'll be nice. Supposedly, the Deutsche Eisenwerk, despite the lack of recon, damage of 100% to that factory, so that's nice. Oberhaus, if we take a look at the damage chart here, we'll need to get some recon on it. But nice overlap of damage here in the western corner of Essen. A nice little thin line of fully burned out squares. If we take a look at campaign summary, we are at 97,000 points for terror bombing, 931 for strategic. Aircraft losses that turn, 15 P-39 Airacobras. That's a quarter of all our losses. That one group of 40 P-39 Airacobras that got absolutely mollywopped over Italy. 4 of the 60 British B-24s were shot down. 5 Marauders out of about 200 sorties. But all 5 of those, I think, were in Italy. 2 Mosquitoes, 7 A-36 Apaches over Italy as well. So between the Apaches and the Airacobras, I mean, that's basically most of our losses. Handful of Thunderbolts and Spitfires. The Germans lost 4 110s, 2 Italian 2001s, 1 190, 2 520s, 3 190 A5s, 9 109 G6s, 2 G5s. So a total of 30 German aircraft versus 63 Allied aircraft. The only sort of silver lining in that is that the aircraft they lost had more pilots in them because they were mostly flying. So they lost 11 pilots KIA today, 1 MIA, so 12 total. The actual raids, if we look at the after action, we mollywopped, I love that word, phrase, whatever, the Deutsche Eisenwerk in the Rhine. What's this? The bombing raid near Rotterdam with the B-26s didn't do very well, 36% damage. The Eindhoven raid did pretty well with the B-20, or those were the tornadoes. 29th Panzer Grenadiers taking a lot of damage. But yeah, we didn't lose a single B-17 today over in Northern Europe. So that's like the second or third day where the Mighty Eighth has not lost even 5 bombers in a row. So I would think their morale is getting good. They're doing much better from a survivability point of view. Should be another good day for weather over Northern Europe. Only 18% cloud cover. Meanwhile, still no sign of any airfields being set up in Italy, but you can see the Germans continue to get pushed back. 29th Panzer Truppen badly mauled. These guys have 100 combat value left. Yikes. They're not doing well. So that's good for us. I think the P-47 was better than the Spitfire personally, Aegis. I think the P-47 might have... People love to talk about the Mustang because of its long range, inherent long range. I'm partial to the P-47 personally. As an air superiority fighter even, not even the love it gets as a ground attack aircraft. Well, they weren't different roles at this point in the war, Seatown. That's the thing to keep in mind. The P-47 at this point was a high-altitude bomber escort in 1943, and it did a very good job of that. It gets overshadowed because that's the role the P-51 would largely take over later in the war, but the P-47 was a very good fighter interceptor. It could go toe-to-toe with anything the Germans had. The main drawback was it didn't have as long of a range, but by the time you get later into the war and you get those extra long-range drop tanks, like not even just the drop tanks they have now, but the even bigger drop tanks, I mean, it could go everywhere too. All right, so we got some good intel about these different bases. Let's actually take a look here. After action report, aircraft. What do we see? Well, it's our most lost plane because it's our most used plane. So there's that. All right, so 80 aircraft at Sivarte. I can't hit that at field, so that sucks. Neither can I hit the field near La Spezia. Latoria, maybe. All right, so Gladbach here, 44 here. No flak? Could that be true? If they've got 44 fighter aircraft at a field with no flak, I mean, even 118 flak is pretty light here at Osh Airfield. We'll have to see about maybe doing some fighter sweeps on these two fields tomorrow. Anything else? 40 fighters at Shrives Airfield. Again, no flak in the intel. That's even closer. That's just south of Brussels. We're going to hit that one for sure. Okay. And Dekui, I think these are mostly night fighters here, but we should hit that base too. So tomorrow may be a heavy day of ground attacks. All right, so we're still on the avalanche mandatories. Oh, the weather got worse. I wasn't looking at the forecast yet for today. That was still afternoon. Let's take a look at something here. What are the B-17s? What's their fatigue look like? I'm surprised some of these units' morale isn't going up. You guys have been having a good run of it lately. Get your morale. Get better. All right. B-17s. Most of them flew yesterday. Some of them had a day off. Maybe they're tired. Maybe that's why the morale's low. 4 of them are below 50. Usually that's the cutoff for me when I won't fly you. How is your morale 44 and you haven't flown in 2 days? Get your head out of your asses, 305th. I'm going to fly you anyway, potentially. But how many do we have serviceable right now? 429? Only 390 or 290 flew yesterday. Most of these groups, pretty good shape. Fighter escorts, likewise, fatigue levels, pretty good. Cancel that. So, fighter sweep. Can we do a sweep against any of those airfields we saw that had no flak? Where they were just south of Brussels, right? So, I don't want to fly over all of those. The problem is, for this kind of a target, I've got to come up with a flight path that adds time and distance to the raid, which makes it more difficult. Because you got to try to avoid these targets. I don't get why that works backwards, basically. Okay, fuck it. Just do these. Go right back down the same path. All right, that's a 308 mission. So Spitfire 9s can make it there. Even the P-47s. It'd be interesting to do a P-47 raid instead of giving them escort duties for a day. Let them hit ground targets and see how they do. I don't actually... So this is maybe a little bit... Should we do this? I just want to see how it'll... Is it cheating if I just order these guys all to go and then do that for my turn and don't do anything else? Overcast is at 9,000 feet, so they should be able to get in underneath the cloud cover. I don't know, finish. I'm thinking maybe we give the bombers the day off either way. No, they can't all reach the target. Nah. I'm not going to do this live. I'll have to do this off screen. So anyway, that was the turn here for today. We'll do another turn some other time soon. And we're going to wrap this up here. So I hope you guys did enjoy our War in the Pacific and Bombing the Reich stream today. And I think that's going to do it for tonight. Yeah. So that's all I got for you guys. I think we're going to stream tomorrow. We will probably stream Manor Lords tomorrow. I hope you guys did enjoy tonight's little Bombing the Reich bit, though. And until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying, once again, thank you very much for watching. To Stein2883, thank you for the resub as well. Cliche, also thank you for the resub. Damo, Highland Tracker, JC Skier, and Murphy21, thank you for the follows. Until next time, I'm out. Bye-bye.